Hey, how are you? Facebook world, LinkedIn unicorns, amazing human beings, campers and smilers. How are you? I'm not sure where my mate is today, but I wanted to come on time because I think it's important. It's been a little while since we've been up and about, and I'm sure Shorty will pop up in a moment. And I can't wait to have this conversation with him because it's been a big one. How's everybody been? Shorty and I have had a little break for a little while, simply because life, life, life has been in the way a little bit, and I mean that's what happens, right? Every now and then you get busy and things happen, and as much as we love being here every week and providing a conversation piece and taking the opportunity to, g'day Marcus, how are you? Happy Wednesday. Um, Taking the opportunity to grow. We've got stuff going on in our lives too. Hey, John, how are you, mate? Good to see you too. Um, and it's fantastic, right? Because that is life. Life doesn't always work out perfectly. It doesn't always come to fruition exactly how we want it. But that's the joy of life, I think. I think that's the things in life that I really love. It's embracing the challenges that are set for us. Right? And let's be honest, a lot of them we don't really want to step into, but when we do, that's where the big growth is. I'm super excited at the moment. I'm looking at what we're doing as the business of smiles, and I'm looking at what we're doing inside our communities, and it's just amazing. Like of late, we've been working on supporting my personal little effort at the moment is supporting Frankston, my community, running men's nights where we have a dinner and conversation piece, and we just open up dialogue and sit and listen to each other and focus on positive male role modeling. And I love it. I just love it. It's like I'll share, we did the art walk, which is something for me that was amazing. Now, if you know Frankston at all, Frankston's actually got a lot of artwork, a lot of wall art that's massive, and it's just stunning. And that artwork is actually been rated 2022 and 2023 some of the best in the world. And the stuff that's coming up for Frankston is just amazing. With the on the 24th of March, they will be doing the international. Here he is. Hello, gorgeous, for coming on. How are you, mate? So it's and this is the way it is, right? Every now and then, things don't work out quite the plan, and it doesn't matter. This is what I love, Shorty. You and I think, are the best at popping up like, when things don't quite go right. We're here. We're having a crack, right? And that's what I love. So, but
Totally.
I hope you don't mind. I've started without you. I'm going to keep going.
Go.
Um, yeah, thank you. So when we look at the Frankston art walk, I took men from the Frankston community out into the streets, and we really engaged with all the artwork. We had a guided tour, and it was wonderful learning about all these international artists, and just the attention to detail in these wall paintings was just extraordinary. But the thing that I loved the most was when we got back to the Bayside Community Kitchen, and we're sitting around and we're processing what's just happened. We sat down and had a big conversation and just said, like, how was it? And everyone said it was fantastic. I didn't know there was so much art in Frankston. Yeah, cool, brilliant. And the common theme kept coming back was, I actually feel more connected to my community because of this. I feel more connected and more pride for my community because I got to know a little bit more about it. I got to understand the stories that are within the community. And that is such an important part, right? It's such an important part of really embracing life and your community. Because if we know our communities, we get involved in our communities, where our hearts are a little bit fuller. We feel a bit better about ourselves. But and I'm looking forward to opening up the opportunity around how people feel with men out and about in their community, supporting one another, because I'm having such a ball. Tomorrow night, we've got another dinner, and I'm really looking forward to this one. Justin's coming in and cooking up a big Italian dish for us all, and we'll be having another yarn, and it's just awesome. So that's pretty exciting. But Shorty, mate, we haven't been on here for a couple of weeks. How are you?
Mate, fantastic. So good to get on here tonight. And I just want to say how much you have making a massive impact in the Frankston community. Like it's just beautiful to see, when you put a post up in the Frankston community notice board, just the love, the backing, it's just absolutely beautiful. And just to hear the stories, right? To hear the stories of men that you've never met, that they've never met the other men in the group, and it's just the connection and that community piece. It's just absolutely beautiful, and the flow on effect, and that's what I want to just to get in a moment. Like those men don't know each other, right? And they've come together with this maybe support from friends or loved ones, or maybe actually no one, where they've got a place where they can connect, they can chat, and they can just hang out. And they take that information, they take that security, they take that safeness, they take that openness back into their own community network. Could be their family, could be another community group. And so it's a beautiful rippling effect that is happening right now in Frankston, because we always have that philosophy of 1+1 = 3. And I think more and more now it's so important. So mate, it's absolutely beautiful for what you're doing down in Frankston. So well done. Well done.
Yeah, thanks, Shorty. Because like it's we did your community last year and Lismore, and we really embraced that, and it's awesome. And the one thing that I've really been looking at lately is what am I doing? What am I doing with myself? Why am I out here everywhere when really I need to be looking after my own backyard? I need to be a part of that. I need to build the foundations of my community, foundations of me, which is my community, and if I can make that a little bit stronger, then we're all going to be a bit stronger. Then it's going to give me more strength to do the things that I want to do. So,
Yeah.
talking of which, there's a man that's popped up here with his bloody comment on fire, and geez, Shorty, I'm doing a half Ironman in a couple of weeks.
Countdown.
2.5 weeks away. I'm doing a half Ironman now. I wouldn't exactly call myself fit, Shorty. I would
How you
not.
feeling?
Whatever. Like it's, and I'm just going to throw this challenge out to those boys that are supremely fit. I sent Shorty a photo of the guys I'm going to be running with and competing with, and mate, they are weapons. And then there's me rolling up at 100. I was 101 kilos. I'm like, giddy up. So, but once again, I'm just going to throw this out to you, Bakes. It's about mindset, mate. It's all about mindset. So we'll see in those later stages when the pain really kicks in, and it's just oh, I love those games. But
Love it.
but it's like one of the things that we need for that, and probably put up a couple of posts in the next couple of days about support. Give us some support. Give me some fuel to get me across the line. Every sort of dollar that goes into the kitty makes me want to do that more. The more money we get, the more it's going to push me through it, because it's not going to be pretty. I can guarantee you that it is not going to be pretty.
What part of that event are you looking forward to the most, and what part of that event are you looking forward to the least?
Yeah, giddy up. Do you know what I'm looking forward to the most? I'm actually looking forward to spending some time with Bakes, right? He has got a beautiful heart, and I'm looking forward to sharing the smiles. And one of the things that I love, you and I live like this, right? So we're out and about sharing the smiles. So love it. So and like we live through rose-colored glasses because of that. And there has been some special tri-suits ordered for this event, right? Now, these guys are good looking, they're strong, they're fit, they can happily get around without their shirt on, but they're going to be getting around in a situation that will be a smile up front, right? So they're going to have a very different engagement to what they're used to, because people will be smiling at them well before they get to them. So that's going to be amazing. I'm really looking forward to doing that with some guys and building a stronger relationship within ourselves. I think that's awesome. What part am I not looking forward to? The swim, the bike, the run. Oh, it's going to be an interesting opportunity. So, yeah, but You've been there, Shorty. We just get these things done, right?
Many a times.
It's not an option. We put our hand up and we're going to run through it. So, which is awesome. So, I do want to jump onto something, Shorty. Unless actually, is there anything you'd like to share first?
Because no, let's keep rolling. This is awesome.
Yeah, gold. Because like one of the things that we're really going to be focusing on going forward is topics. We really want to challenge topics. We want two guys sitting here talking about things in life. Let's open them up. Let's see what we've got. And today is International Women's Day, and I'm going to grab that for a sec, Shorty. And I want to say thank you to the women in our life. I want to say thank you for the opportunity to grow. I want to say thank you for allowing us to grow. You know, like we've got some amazing women in our life, and I'm so lucky that I'm gifted the opportunity to learn them, you know, from the cold water crazies all the way through to the Women in the Campfire Project. Like they have allowed me to fail forward in order to grow. And it's something I'm super, super, super proud of. So Shorty, for you.
Oh, for me, it's the women that I know I love. For me, it's the women that I don't know and that I'd like to know. It's for the women that I don't know. And it is a rippling effect. For me, it's every day should be Women's Day, because what they bring to the table is everything and everything on, under, beneath the table. And it's really beautiful to see the voice coming through. It's really beautiful to see that nurturing aspect, that the sport, all different aspects of this world, because it's time. It's time to reconnect. It's time to bridge that gap. That time is now. And it all starts with a smile. Interesting.
Love that too. Love that, because which sort of leads into something. And today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm super excited because those that follow anything that we do know that I talk a lot about Oscar and the growth, and it's probably my biggest learnings in life and growth opportunity, right? Because it teaches me a lot about myself, to be honest, more than anything. It's an investigation and curiosity which allows me to understand things better. And one of the things that he does more than anything else that is just amazing is challenges me with opening up dialogue around things. Like, and I'm going to grab the whiteboard over and just see how we go with that, because I'm pretty pumped, because Oscar and I have always had a whiteboard to work through things, right? We always, if there's something big he wants to do, Dad, I've got something I want to dance with it. I want to play with it. I'm like, okay, cool. So he's come home and he's gone, Dad, I've got a project, right? And it's to do with health, right? The topic is health at school. And, geez, I'm doing that well, aren't I? I don't care. It's all right. It's life. We're working through things, right? So what's come through is this topic on health. And what he had to look at was what part of society does he want to improve, right? And so we opened that up and said, that's great. And he goes, what are the things that in his life that are becoming a bit of an issue? And we looked at it and he goes, oh, bullying, cyberbullying. And he's written up here all the topics. Okay. And in those topics, he's sat down and put all those topics. Sexting. Also, what's the other one? Oh, it doesn't matter. Right, so we've got all these great topics. And he said to him, I said, what do you want to do? You guys, listen, a lot of the people are doing sexting because they just like drawing a picture of a penis, right? Okay, fair enough. If that's where it's at. You guys, but that's not me. I'm not interested in that. I am interested in actually trying to find ways to learn things and do things differently. I said, well, let's dance with your topics. Let's see what's come up. He goes, well, in bullying, he goes, that's pretty broad. He goes, so I want to refine that a little bit. Then he goes, so there's cyberbullying. There's what else have we got? He goes, there's bullying people with language. I said, well, what would that be? He goes, oh, no. He goes, I don't know. So we'll just Google it and have a look. Go, verbal harassment, right? He goes, great. I actually want to take that on because I believe that that's the start of bullying, and it makes it that creates a lot of problems. I'm like, awesome. So then he's moved along. I'm going to choose that topic, right? Then he's moved along, and he's gone. So the rules of the game are this: I've got to have a bystander. I've got to have a victim. I've got to have a bully, and I want to make a solution. And I'm like, this is brilliant. I said, but then he goes across and goes, how do I best represent this? What are the things I best represent? Keep in mind, this kid's 11. Right? And this is the awareness that they actually have of life, right? And which is why this is so important. Because the best part about this for me is understanding that with any part of a social issue, there is a victim, there is a bully, and there's bystanders. Okay, so it's not just looking at it from a bully's perspective. So choosing that he's chosen verbal harassment, I started Googling just to see what that is. And I'm going to read it to you. Coming from the Den law. Okay, what are the laws around verbal harassment? Verbal harassment is language that targets and harms other person, usually in an emotional and physical sense. Calling someone by name, making them feel useless, or lowering a person's self-esteem can be a form of verbal harassment. I think that's a pretty fair explanation for what it is. So let's look at that. Let's look at the three components of that. Let's start with the victim. What does a victim feel?
Could be multiple things, couldn't it? Could be fear, could be hurt, could be sadness, could be anxiousness, could be frustration, could be loneliness.
Yeah. I like loneliness. I like that. That's something I'm going to take away from that because in verbal harassment, it's an attack, right? A victim is on their own. They're a silo. Yeah. Which I'll get back to later.
Well, they think they are.
Yeah, I like that. But I do want to grab that a little bit later. So we've got the victim, right? So they've felt all these feelings. Then we got the bully, the perpetrator. Okay. What are they trying to do?
Express a certain viewpoint, make them feel superior. Maybe they're scared themselves. Maybe they're threatened themselves, so they retaliate back in their words or their verbal abuse. Maybe they're on show. Maybe there's so many variations of this, right? So it's context around it.
Yeah. We'll grab that bit too. I'm just going to pop that up there. Context. Okay. I like that. So then we've got the third party, right? We've got the third party, which is the bystander. What are they feeling? What's going on there, you reckon?
So they could be feeling also maybe intimidated. They could be also feeling that they want to speak up, but they're also maybe a bit scared themselves. They may be also feeling that confused or uncertain. They could be feeling almost that unjustly, where that's like, no, they will step in. So once again, it's like depending on the situation, depending on the person, and will depend on what action they take or don't take as well.
I like that. All right. So we've got three parts of the opportunity in verbal harassment. We've got the bystander, which can be simply a bystander or can be an action taker, which I want to encourage
Yeah.
to talk about a little bit later, right? So I'm going to put
Yep.
that up on the board too, because that's a solution. Action taker. Okay. What do we need to understand about verbal abuse? Because we've just looked at what a victim feels. We've just looked at what the perpetrator feels, and look at what a bystander feels. So, why are we looking at the way each component feels, Shorty? Why are we looking at that?
To have an understanding of their viewpoints.
Right. Why is that important?
Because those viewpoints will create their reality.
Right. So, would you go as far as to say that with verbal abuse, until we understand the context of what each person is feeling and going through, we don't understand the situation?
We could definitely say that.
Okay. So, from my experience, okay, this is solid from my experience. One of the things that happened in COVID is the lockdowns happened and all the kids were at home. They were at home, parents were working, kids were frustrated because they didn't have their normal routines, they didn't have the normal things going on. Parents were frustrated because they've had to seriously adjust their lives in order to cope with everything that's going on. At the end of lockdown, and kids went back to school and they lost it.
Mm.
They didn't lose it with their parents. They didn't lose it with their teachers. They lost it with the other students with verbal abuse, verbal harassment. Why? Because they couldn't open up their discussion with their parents because their parents were under pressure. Teachers are a point of authority, so they're not going to lash out. I mean, some kids will as they get older. They definitely will.
Mm-hmm.
But they couldn't lash out at their teachers. So where's the next best place to lash out?
Their peers.
Right, because there's no confrontation, right? There is confrontation, but there's no authority in that. Verbal abuse is a big subject. There's lots of different areas that we can go down in this. But the reason why I'm focusing on kids right now is because I'm about to do a project with a young kid about this, right? What can we do to support each other? Because, and keep in mind, this is my opinion and my experiences. I've had to deal with a lot of this over the years with Oscar, and it's something that we embrace, we openly discuss, and we challenge each other on what the possible outcomes are, understand all parts of the scenario, understand who the person is bullying, what could be going on for them, how things could work, right? If we don't process our emotions and how we're feeling, they get projected onto other people without understanding things first.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why we do what we do and everything that we're a part of is to allow people to have a safe place to express the things they need to express so they don't take them home and dump them in an emotional situation when they don't have the energy or the skill set to do that.
Correct.
Verbal abuse is damaging in many places, and it really, really affects people long term, and it holds them in a pattern of disappointment. Something that hurts me greatly is the fact that my son has a body image problem. My son was told he had tofu tits, and it breaks my heart to hear that. It's an ongoing battle to have him comfortable within his body. He wouldn't do the swimming carnival at his new school because of that, what's been damaged with him with verbal abuse. Verbal abuse can be simply calling somebody a name, and actually that's sticking to somebody.
Yep.
I'm so proud of my son for taking on this subject. And I don't wish to be right or wrong in this subject. I hope to make progress with it. I hope to get a better understanding so that we can share our stories, so that we put less pressure on each other. That is our own stuff. That is our own inferiorities that we project on others because we need to either feel better about ourselves or we've got unprocessed emotions that are building up inside us. What do you want to add to that, Shorty? I'm going
I
to
think
grab
it's
this.
Yep.
Go. Sorry, Carl. No, go first. Sorry.
I think it's a start of a journey.
Yeah.
Because as you said, there's many different ways that we could look at this and we could tackle this. But what I'd love to hear from those watching this, if you had a question around verbal abuse, what would that question be? If you had your viewpoint around what we've gone through tonight, what would that be? Because the more we come together, because we're just coming to this tonight with Scott's viewpoint and my viewpoint, right? That's his view of the world. That's my view of the world. But when we have many views of the world, we can even shed further light on it. We can shed that connection. We can really bring some lightness to it, so there is no darkness around verbal abuse, because that's what can happen on all those three parties. They all have a story around that and create a story around that which can impact them in today, tomorrow, and in the future. But the more we share our stories, the more we can share the light on it, we can always come up with solutions and strategies for us to all move forward. So what questions do you have? What comments would you like to make? Let's shed some light on it so we can come up with some more further strategies.
And that's what I love, right? Because I want to see the bystander become an action taker. And the action taker can simply be to unpack what they've seen.
Yeah.
Because on the third party looking at the situation, you have a different viewpoint and you can see both sides. You can see the impact. So share it with somebody. Share with somebody what you've witnessed and say, listen, I experienced this and I'm not quite sure what to make of it. Can you help me with that? Go to a trusted person to do that. I'm going to grab something right here because I love this girl and she's very important to me. And Janelle is a big part of the business of Smiles, and we love you. And you know, like there's stuff going on in everybody's world, and just appreciate you being here. That verbal abuse has sat heavily with you, and I just want to honor you for this. I want to honor you for sharing that has been your life, because I would love to look at the impact of that. I would love for you to share the impact over time and create that, because this is what this is what I love most about what we do. This is what I love most about. We don't have all the answers, Shorty and I. However, we're prepared to have a discussion around it in order to create movement on a topic so that we can create progress. I've got an 11-year-old boy that wants to make progress on this because he's got a safe place to open it up and talk about it and to work through it. I love the future that we're creating. We don't have to go back too far in our lives, Janelle. I really appreciate that, to know how much verbal abuse, physical abuse in general has been upon past generations. And the one thing that I think we're learning more than ever is the importance of breaking those shackles, understanding that the feelings live inside of us. So we need to process them. Otherwise, they get put onto the next person, put onto the next person. A bully is a bully for a reason. And I, as much as that can frustrate me with some of the stuff that we've had to go through, I also understand that that's a growth period we're going through. We're going to be stronger because of this. The human race is going to be stronger because of this. So, yeah. What's that bringing up for you, Shorty?
It's brought up with the conversation I had actually with a client today, where as a young girl, she had never found her voice. She was always trying to be the quiet person and the nice person. But today she found it. A 30-year-old had a conversation with the 12-year-old version of her and reassured that younger version of her to find her voice, and it's okay to find her voice. And it was a beautiful process that we went through, and that 30-year-old voice now can have that courageous conversation. And so where she doesn't feel threatened, where she doesn't feel insecure, and she's actually got the confidence to do it. So, this is a beautiful journey. And the more that, once again, the more that we can share, as Janelle says, a problem shared is a problem halved. Support and empathy is huge. So let's hear it. Let's send us messages, comment on the video below, and let's get some questions going. Let's get some strategies and solutions going, because the more we can come together, the more we can shed some light on it.
100%, and we grow together. Shorty, I love you, mate. I love the willingness to embrace these conversations, and I know for myself that I grow exponentially because we have these conversations. And just quickly, but I had a conversation with an amazing man today, and like an amazing man, I'm looking forward to bringing him into what we're doing. Like, if once this connection happens, Shorty, we're next level. Like, it's what you and I are about, making ourselves stronger. But he loved my bio. A man just trying to be the best version of himself, because that's all we can be. And if we continually make improvement on ourselves, our world around us improves. Self. We go to self. We get a better understanding of self. We get a better understanding of our impact. Our entire world improves. So from my heart to yours, I want to really say thank you, Shorty, for helping me be the best version of me. I want to say thank you to you for watching. Yeah, for helping me be the best version of me by taking the opportunity to comment. So, yeah. Beautiful, Shorty. I'm looking forward to reading the comments. I'm looking forward to answering some of them and just bringing up some stuff. Side note, if you have a topic you want us to talk about, bring it to us. Like, we're here for this, yeah? So, yeah. All right. Thank you, Shorty. Thanks,
Love
everyone. Gone a bit over. Any finishing notes?
Be amazing.
I hope you're smiling, you gorgeous humans. All right, now, Shorty, that time of the night. Where the hell is that?
The bloody button.
Where is it?